Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Travel Tech. So this is the third video in line for the free giveaway contest. Go ahead, hit the comment down below and make sure you win yourself a dash cam. Let's get started. So you might have heard of the saying that the devil is in the details. This is especially used while in investigations because there might be some small instances, some very small evidences which will help you catch the culprit. Well, why do we use dash cams? To make sure that we have evidence of any incident or accident happening on the road. The better the quality of evidence, the better chance you have at keeping yourself safe. Well, in that interest, I had promised to bring up a detailed video on the differences between a true or a native 4K and a upscaled 4K. So in this video, I'll keep it very simple and keep it very detailed so that by the time you end watching this video, you will have a complete idea regarding which 4K dashcam to select when you're buying one in the future. So let's jump in straight into the video and let's get started. So what is a 4K resolution? Well, any image or a video that has a pixel count of 3840 horizontally and 2160 vertically is recognized as a standard 4K resolution. So we do get a lot of 4K dash cameras in the market and we all have been looking into buying one. So what makes a 4K dash cam a true native 4K dash cam? Well, I'll put up a chart right now showing you the detailed relationship between the resolution, the aspect ratio, the pixel count and the megapixels needed to get that specific resolution. Just take a look at this chart. So starting with the 720p resolution, that is the HD resolution, this is a 1280 into 720p pixels and it comes in a 16:9 aspect ratio, and the minimum requirement of the megapixels required to capture a 720p image is 0.9 MP. If we move on to the 1080p resolution, 1920 horizontal and 1080 vertical pixels. So this also comes in a 16:9 aspect ratio and the minimum megapixels needed to record this is a 2.1 megapixels. If we talk about the 1944p resolution such as the DDPi Z40 or the 70mm A500, it is a 2592 into 1944p pixel dimensions which comes in a 4:3 aspect ratio and it needs a 5 megapixel sensor as a minimum. If we talk about 4K, now this is a proper 3840 into 2160 pixels in 16:9 aspect ratio and this needs at least a 8 megapixel sensor in order to capture this entire footage in native 4K resolution. So how do you find the relationship between the resolution and the minimum amount of megapixels of a camera required to capture that resolution? Well, you just need to multiply the numbers. Yes, a standard 1920 into 1080p, if you multiply that you get 2073600. Now take the first number in this list and that is a 2 megapixel sensor. If we talk about 1944p, the 2592 into 1944 leads to 5038848, wherein the first number is the 5, it stands for 5 megapixel sensor. If you multiply the 4K resolution, the native proper 4K resolution which is 3840 into 2160, you get the number 8294400. So this comes to 8 megapixel sensor. So this is how you can easily calculate if the dash camera or any other camera for that matter supports native 4K resolution based on the megapixels of the sensor put inside it. Now here's a look at the difference between the various resolutions. So in this case, if we are talking about upscaling a 1080p video to a 4K video, this entire 3/4 space will need to be created digitally by using the algorithms in order to create a upscaled 4K video. If we talk about a 1944p video, which is a 5 megapixel video, this covers more or less the 3/4 of the video, but still about 1/4 of the portion of the video needs to be created digitally by the system using its inbuilt algorithms, and these extra created pixels joining to form a 2160p 4K resolution. So here's the first sample which I want you guys to take a look at. On top is the dashcam 1 and on the bottom is the dashcam 2. I want you guys to find out which one of these is a native 4K one and which one of these is a upscaled 4K one. So let's zoom in on the license plate of the dashcam one. So as you can see, this is the particular read. It's a pretty decent read. The vehicle was about a distance of 20 to 25 feet. You might see some slight blurriness, but the overall readability is pretty decent.
If I zoom out and take a look at the dashcam 2 sample, now a very similar read in terms of readability. This might look a bit more yellowish compared to the previous sample, but the overall readability is again very similar. Now here is a side-by-side comparison of both the samples. Now you can clearly make out that the overall readability of the number plate is more or less the same. There isn't a very drastic difference between the two, except maybe for the tone of the video. Also do note on the left, the bushes on the left side of the car, you can now begin to see a difference in quality from dashcam 1 and dashcam 2. Now other than the bushes, I want you guys to focus on two different aspects. Now I'll put them up in squares to show you which areas I'm going to focus now. You can see those two ladies standing in front of the car. So I'm going to focus on that particular area, and another square which I have pointed out, I'll focus on the partial number plate and also the tail light of the car. Now zooming in and showing you a side-by-side comparison of the two ladies in front of the car. On the left is the dashcam 1 and on the right is the dashcam 2. Now notice the finishing within this image. I mean, the smoothness of the image I think looks much better in the dashcam 1 compared to the dashcam 2, where the details are a bit jagged and more pixely compared to the dashcam 1 sample. Moving on to show you another aspect of this particular snapshot, the number plate and the tail light. So if you can see right now, you can more or less make out the lettering on the car, that is the Santro Zing, written in the dashcam 1 sample. But if you take a closer look at the dashcam 2 sample, it becomes pretty difficult to make out that name in the dashcam 2 sample. Also notice the finishing of the tail light in both 1 and 2 samples. You can see that the dashcam 1 sample is marginally better or gives off a more finished and a more proper look compared to the dashcam 2 sample. So let's zoom out now and take a look at something which is very close to the dash camera. As you can see on the right, there is a Maruti Suzuki Swift Desire, and within this snapshot I am going to focus on two different key aspects. Now I've darkened the video and shown you in two small white squares which area I am going to focus on. The first area where I'll focus is the number plate itself of the car, and the second area I'll take a deeper look into what's written on the rear windshield. They have put some white sticker which you are not able to see right now because it's fully zoomed out, but let's jump in and take a look. So here's the first sample with the dashcam 1 on top and dashcam 2 at the bottom. Now take a look at the IND lettering on the left portion of the number plate. You can clearly make out a proper gap or space between the three letters. Although I won't say that is very crystal clear, it is slightly blurred out, but the specific letter is visible individually and they are not mashed up or jammed up. Now what about the dashcam 2? You cannot make out a specific line or differentiation between the three letters, and all three letters seem jammed up. The overall readability of the plate again also looks slightly pixelated compared to the dashcam 1 sample. Now coming up on the second part of the same snapshot. Now here is a sticker which was found on the rear windshield. Of course it wasn't visible in the zoomed out snapshot. Now since both are 4K cameras, I have zoomed in completely onto it, and you can see on the left is the dashcam 1 sample and on the right is the dashcam 2. Now in which of these samples can you say that the letters are individually visible with proper differentiation? Well, I definitely think that the dashcam 1 sample gives off a more better image. You can see a specific gap between the letters, especially the J, A, I, N is distinctively visible in the dashcam 1, whereas in the dashcam 2 you can sort of make out the J maybe, but after that the three letters following it are mashed up and there is no clear differentiation between them. Also you can make out some extra pixelation around those letters compared to the dashcam 1 sample. So what we saw up until now was during the daytime. Let's jump into the night sample. So here's a snapshot from both cameras during night, and I have paused the video at a certain point. Now let's not even go into the license plate read right now. Let's jump into an aspect where there is no reflection of the headlights. That is, I'll be focusing on the sky portion within this snapshot. Now here I have cropped the image wherein you can see the street lights, the tree line, and especially a part of the bulb on the right side. The dashcam 1 on top and the dashcam 2 on the bottom. You can clearly make out the pixelation within the dashcam 2 when compared to the 1 sample. Now to make things even more clear, I'll focus in on the particular street light which you are seeing in more or less in the center of the screen. So here is the zoomed in sample of the street light. Now in this comparison, the details become so much more evident. Within the dashcam 2, you see a lot of pixelation and noise when compared to the dashcam 1 sample, wherein the image still holds up a smooth look, a marginal pixelation compared to what the dashcam 2 is showing up. Now let's zoom back and take a look at the broader picture, and why not take a look at the license plate readability as well. So here's a zoomed in picture. There are 4 different cars, I think, of which you can read number plates within the dashcam 1 sample. Within the dashcam 2, almost everything is whitewashed. You cannot read any number plate in this. But in defense for the dashcam 2, what I can say is that in dashcam 1, there is a Starvis 2 IMX678 sensor, whereas in the dashcam 2, you find an older Starvis sensor. So this example is specifically to show you why the Starvis 2 sensor 4K resolution is way better than the previous generation Starvis sensor. Now the Starvis 2 sensor can definitely give you a big boost in terms of reading license plates at night. Now let's zoom in a bit more on the vehicle on the left. So here's a specific example wherein you can see the power of the Starvis 2 compared to the previous Starvis sensor. The older generation Starvis sensors clearly lack the ability to read license plates at night, wherein Sony has took the time to refine their sensor and brought out the Starvis 2. As you're seeing on the screen right now, the dashcam 1 with the Starvis 2 sensor is giving out crystal clear image of the number plate, even though my headlights are hitting the cars directly and the entire glare is now focused on the license plates. So this goes to show that how important is Starvis 2 sensor during nighttime license plate readabilities, especially now when there are a lot of cameras available with the Starvis 2. It doesn't really make sense to go with the older Starvis sensor. So coming to a side-by-side comparison of the overall video quality footage, on top you find the dashcam 1 and on the bottom you find the dashcam 2. Now taking a look at the broader picture, both the videos will look very similar because this is not something the naked eye can really detect until you clearly zoom in into the picture. So the overall picture quality or the video quality will not give you a drastic difference, especially to the naked eye, but you can really make out the difference between a native 4K and an upscaled 4K when you zoom in to get the details. Now here's the sample during night time. Now take a look at both the samples, and even in the broader picture in the dashcam 2, you can make out some marginal noise within the sky region, the dark sky region, compared to the dashcam 1. And by now I think it is clearly evident that the dashcam 1 is the one with the native 4K resolution and the dashcam 2 is the one with the upscaled 4K resolution. So this video is right out in front of your eyes, so that you can decide for yourself which of these two video footages gives off a more better quality compared to the other. And once you have understood this significant difference, it will be easier for you to decide which dash camera or which 4K dash cam to go ahead with when you're buying one in the future.
So that was an exhaustive and in detail info on what a true or a native 4K is and what a upscaled 4K is. The higher you're trying to upscale the data, the more noise or more grainy the image will get. So I hope now you have understood the entire concept of what a true 4K is and what a upscaled 4K is. Is upscaled 4K really that bad? Not at all. Upscaled 4K has one big advantage over a native 4K one, and that is its price. Yes, getting an upscaled 4K is cheaper compared to getting a native 4K. And if you want to keep the prices of your product down, an upscaled 4K is the best option, because higher the price of a product, the lesser chance that people will buy it. So in a commercial point of view, upscaled 4K finds that right balance of giving a 4K resolution and also keeping the prices down. A native 4K resolution camera will require a higher investment, and of course, the costlier the device gets, people don't tend to choose it a lot. From a pure technical point of view, a native 4K definitely has an upper hand over the upscaled 4K. From a commercial point of view, an upscaled 4K has an upper hand over a native 4K. So you are either one of these two people. You are a true tech enthusiast who will pay the extra price to get the extra quality, or you're not a serious tech enthusiast and you're fine with the compromised quality as long as you get to pay the lesser price. So is being a tech enthusiast bad, or is being a person who cares more about price is bad? None of those are bad. because each person has their own set of choices based on their own conditions. Not one choice is better than the other. So the intention of this video was to educate you and to inform you regarding the technical aspect of this video, and at the end of the day, whichever dashcam you choose should be the suitable one for you. So this was the video for today. If you have any doubts or queries, do write that down in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And in case if this video has helped you out, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. Also hit the bell icon so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.